Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Woo party! Probably going to be a relatively quick little presentation here for you today. Not too much to report on. I did get stopped out of a couple positions in the stock market overnight. Woohoo, party! Strapped on a new short position in Bitcoin. Just going to short against those highs, see what happens. And I was working a bunch of bids in altcoin land. Not really doing a hell of a lot there just this morning. So it's kind of a quiet day. And really some interesting market information. We've been talking recently to you guys. There is a bit of a disconnect going on here in the market where we have stocks and oil surging higher and gold surging higher at the same time. Very rare. And also, too, we have gold surging higher and yen just absolutely collapsing. Very rare. So, very interesting market. And really, a lot of people in the Daily Brief were like, well, Brian, explain this. What's going on? What's going on? And I hate to say it, I know it's going to sound like a cop-out answer, and you're going to hear this a lot from me over the next year, but really, this year is very similar for all those people that participate in the cryptocurrency markets. This year in the stock market and the sort of broader economy, I think, is going to be very much like what we saw 2017, 2018 in crypto. So, we had to spend almost, probably about 8 months of 2017 just going, I can't explain it. Silly market's going up. We know the cost of production on Bitcoin's like $2,000-$3,000. And here we are, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 15,000, 17,000, 19,000, right? Sometimes markets just go that way, and I got a funny feeling that's what's going to happen to the stock market this year. When we look at our chart deck here, if anything, I'm super pleased that I'm long U.S. dollars and big chunk of U.S. dollars, so that's good. Man, I would not get in the way of this U.S. dollar bull right now. We just broke out to new highs. My hunch is, and I think I did this chart up for you recently, we can do things like AB equals CDs. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. So, I could see a nice little upside objective about 120 on US dollar index. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we said that was like a 113 as well. So we go boobity boo and then project that. Extensions. 113 is 116. So my hunch is we got a date somewhere up in this area. And the problem here is, of course, I've been, rather bearish of euro recently. And now Japan itself has come out with some horrific economic data. So it's sort of like, well, where the hell are we going to run into? The Japanese, they just went and raised taxes. Way to go. Just totally kicking the economy in the shins. And Europe, of course, is mired in that economic malaise. The great part about it now is everybody has an excuse. I don't, like the Japanese economy was already breaking Q4 of last year. And yet what I hear now is, oh, well, it's just coronavirus. Oh, yeah, everything's going to shit. Everything's crapped out. It's coronavirus. No big deal. Just coronavirus. Blame the Chinese. So that's that. And I got a funny feeling we're going to hear a lot of this over the next year. But, in the face of that, goddamn stock market made another new high today. 33.9250 on the S&Ps, 33.9225. Oh, beg your pardon. I slap that Brian in the face. We are a quarter point off of all-time highs, so I beg your pardon. Does that get taken out by the end of the day? I think so. Interesting risk on, risk off. I mean, everything's moving up in unison here. This is not quote-unquote normal, but nonetheless, in these nutso-insano markets, I suppose, get used to nutso-insano. Oil is continuing to move higher. I really did want to see a nice polite W down here on the other side of this trend line, but, the market's going to do whatever the hell it wants to do. My hunch now is that we're probably in the process of doing things like 38.2s. So we're going to find out whether this actually is really a bottom or not, or whether all this is just consolidation. So 38.2 is 55.56. That'll basically, clean up all of this mess. Do they rally it all the way back up to fill in these gaps? I don't know, but oil definitely has a head of steam behind it. Maybe if we're lucky, the oil trade sets up as a nice inverted head and shoulders. That could definitely play out. So long and short of it here, though, is I really would like to see a nice W over here, please. Some sort of W. I think I told you recently we did go and pick up some oil stocks. So we've got a few proxies on the books in that space. Don't see anything alarming here this morning out of oil names. But actually, I'm really interested in this Antero Resources, which I'll probably keep an eye on that. But anyway, you shake it. Sure looks to me like oil is catching a bid here, very simply put. As we said, stocks basically up at their old highs. I thought we broke out to new highs, but not quite yet. Very close. So anyway, but at the same time, too, look, we got bonds pressing up. And, of course, we talked about this massive trend line. I don't know whether this thing's actually spat out a buy. I suppose if this thing W's here, that high on the bonds there was 163.09. Hit 163.16, and we're now sitting 163.01 right now. So sort of flirting with breaking out here. And, of course, gold. Woohoo! Gold. What's really interesting about gold, of course, is that we smacked right up against a really powerful resistance level. Our good old chaos theory, bang, right up against that level. Also, this was a midpoint of a gold trend channel. Where the hell do I have that? Do I have it over here? Over here, I guess. Do I? No. Where the hell do I have that damn gold chart? Anyway, one of these charts had it on it. One of these charts is not like the others. Oh well. Anyway, it was the top of a channel. Actually, maybe it was even on this. No. Show me a new high, and I'll show you a buy. I get the impression that gold kind of wants to push up into that. Oh, I guess this was that it? No. Yeah, I've lost my head. Don't you hate when you're like talking away and you're thinking about a chart that you've been looking at all morning, and then all of a sudden you can't find the damn thing? Anyway, I can't seem to see it here. But look at this euro. Holy Jesus H. Christ. Look at yen. Oh my goodness. And the worst part about it is, if you actually zoom out on yen, you can actually see where they want to take it right now. So, we're sort of going backwards here. I was talking about this a moment ago. But A, B, C, D's, notice, big old gap on the charts. So my hunch is they want to fill in these gaps from a while ago there. And then the euro, same sort of thing, just an absolute train wreck here. It's getting pretty close to filling in this gap, so we're hopefully relatively near that level. But wow, is this ever a crazy ass market? I mean, basically they're just selling anything that's not U.S. And if it's U.S., just go and buy it. Even U.S. denominated commodities, just buy it. Buy the oil, buy the gold, buy the bonds, buy the stocks. If it's U.S. dollar denominated, buy it. That's sort of what I see happening here. Which, of course, is that logical? Is it good economics? Is it supply and demand? Or is this just, holy fuck, the world's freaking out right now? And remember 2017, 2018 Bitcoin, right? I got a funny feeling this whole market is going to be like this for the rest of this year. It's going to be nuts, man. So, long and short of it here, we put on gold proxies. They're all doing fine. We don't really need to talk about that today. If anything, in the stock market today, I want to show you guys how I can lose money. And oh boy, do I ever love to lose money. But here were a couple names that I put on recently. And of course, how I approach the market. I basically buy W's. And if the W's fail, I just got to walk away. So here were two trades that basically crapped out. And actually, this was a trade that I even put on yesterday. And I said, okay, well, they're coming out with earnings tonight. We'll see what happens. And sure enough, they missed. And it was a nasty number. It lost the lows. And so I just walked away. So I actually did book these losses today. And actually, this one just broke down like literally 10 seconds before we were starting up this daily brief recap. So I had to go load up the account, make sure that the liquidation order was executed, and it was. And so basically, I'm gone. If anything, like I said, I've said to you guys repeatedly, I'm an open book. I'm not going to sit here and tout that I'm the best trader in the world, but hopefully what I am is I'm a relatively good sort of person to tell you what sort of the process looks like. You are going to have losing trades. You are going to have winning trades. How do you act? While it isn't pretty, and it's nothing to get, that's going to sell subscriptions, I want you guys to see that, when I buy W's and if those W's fail, I just walk away. In fact, actually, I've got a couple stocks on the books. I'm still waiting for my sell orders to be filled after the stocks broke down. And one of the stocks actually put in a little bit of a buy signal. So actually, I'm expecting that the rally, that's that U.S. truck stock. Can't remember what the hell the name of it is. Something like U.S. truck. Isn't it? Trusk. USAK. Thank you, sir. Whoops, not in Bulgaria. I have no idea what the hell that is. This thing here. Here's a good example of a stock where I bought this W, it crapped out. Could I have panicked and just dumped? Sure, I could have. But I really wasn't in a big hurry, and I have my sell order working against the bottom end of this range here. You can see the stock's rallying up. We were talking about the fact that this is a cup and handle buy signal. But because this is a losing trade for me, I'm certainly not going to add to the losing trade. If this counter trend rally comes up, fills in the gap, I'll just walk away from the old trade. But really what I want to show you guys is that I'm a man of my word. And this isn't an easy game. You are going to have losing trades. How do you handle the losers often actually dictates if you're going to survive at this game over the long term. So I think it's actually important that I show you how I can lose money. And it's important that I show you that I do what I say I'm going to do. That's really the key here. Could I pull up some stocks that are zipping higher here and whoo, look at all my paper profits? Sure. But they're just paper profits. I didn't sell anything at a profit, hit profit objectives today. So there's nothing really to get too excited about. But there are stocks moving up and down. And, I just wanted to show you. Here's a couple examples where I did have to act. And, I lost money. It's the way it goes. But, at least if nothing else, you say, well, that Beamish guy said he was going to buy the W and he was going to get out if it failed. I did what I said I was going to do. Moving on to crypto and the coin. Again, not a hell of a lot new to report here. Full disclosure, I have been sort of waiting for this event to happen. I was kind of thinking that they were going to take the market to new highs here. You can see the momentum breakdowns here, even nasty divergence in RSI. So on this counter trend rally right up against these highs, the market sort of stalled a little bit and floundering here. So I hit it. I am short a very small position, about a half a Bitcoin in total. But I got a short on, and I'm just going to simply risk to this high. And you never know, like I said, I'll demonstrate how to lose money. Maybe the next daily brief recap, it will show that Bitcoin prices popped through the top here and I got stopped out. It's totally possible. The trade that I'm doing in Bitcoin right now is over on the casino. So the casino is always a fun adventure unto itself. But this is basically the mechanics of it, where they put this M-top in, they rallied it right back up into a chaos level, into reload short zone, started to flounder. I'm willing to risk against this high. I'm not going to be too concerned with what happens here over the short term, just in general here. My hunch is, and you can see even this morning for all like the really low short-term players, they're just stop, run. Ooh, let's bust those guys out. Ooh, stop, run. Boo, let's bust those guys out. But you see, the whole reason why I wanted to short was to short against this M-top. Really nothing's happened here. So just put the position on. We'll see what happens. Live with the results. And as you can see, my targets is just simply going to be a 50% retracement of this range back down to about 8,700. So we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. Just basically shorting against the top end of the range, looking to take profits at 50% rolls. It's not rocket science. And I have no idea how this trade's going to turn out. I really don't. But it meets a lot of my trade setup criteria, especially off of things like 4 hours, momentum divergences, location, structure. So a trader's got to trade. You just got to take the damn trade and live with the results. So, I've been talking to you at length about, had you bought off the bottom, you should have been taking some profits at 50%. If you are still long that position and you're trailing stops, fine. Just make darn sure that if you're in this winning trade, don't let it turn into a losing trade if Bitcoin just totally craps out here. That's usually, it's psychologically tough to get over. Could this thing move to new highs? Sure. We can do any old damn thing it wants. But for the time being, it's a relatively small risk window. And really all I'm doing is, remember, I think I've told you in recent videos, if I actually wanted to buy Bitcoins, I would love a nice little pullback down into this level here. So that's what I'm doing in crypto right now. And, actually there are some names that I actually would like to buy in crypto, and I was kind of hoping that broader market would dump. So here's a good example. VIA did not dump into my level yet, so I just have to sit there and just be patient, but I'll be more than happy to pick some up on a test of the bottom end of the range. And then also too, this is basically the same message that I've been telling you guys recently. Number one, don't chase. You're not allowed to do that. Number two, where is sort of the original double bottoms? If you're following this particular index, it looks like it's basically off of there. And number three, if you do want to participate, let's find out where reload zones are. I got a sneaky suspicion, we might even want to add things like 88.6 to this. Yeah, so interesting how 88.6 takes us right back down against these original bottoms. It'll fill in all of these gaps along here. And my hunch is anybody who's trading this asset, there's probably open orders to buy sitting down at this level. There's probably some sitting down at this level. So a nice stab down into reload zones. You can see guys like Mountain Man, they got their crazy ass stink fills. They're probably taking some profits now. But a guy like me, slow and steady, I would personally prefer that we came down into this area. And ideally, what would be the best scenario is nice dip and then a W and away we go. So that's sort of what I'm thinking out of the market right now. Not really in a big hurry to go spend a lot of money right here. A little bit too expensive to buy. And of course, if you were long and you were taking profits, this move up top here was the time to take profits. Now you've kind of missed that window as well. So probably a little too late to sell and a little too early to buy. And I see that across a lot of markets right now. So, all right, I think I'll leave the summary at that. Not too much new to talk about. Great demonstration of how Brian can lose money. The trades that are working for me, I'm just letting them work and let my money just work away. All right, have yourselves a great day, everybody. All the best, and bye for now.